understood me last night. He definitely understood me.
How would he be able to speak Dutch?
I don't know. But listen, we need a full workup. Blood work, scans, rule out ADHD, intermittent explosive. I need to check all of his files, all of his placements.
Whoa, slow down for a second. I'm a little more focused on legal next steps here, Eli. He assaulted another child.
All right. How's the other boy doing?
Physically, he's going to be okay, but he's pretty traumatized. Apparently, there was an impressive amount of blood.
That is a clip from Before, and I'm delighted to say I've been joined by its star and executive producer, the legendary Billy Crystal.
Legendary.
How are you, Billy?
Thank you. I'm good, Simon. Nice to be with you.
It's very nice to see you. I actually spoke to you about 20 years ago or so, and I remember it might have been for Mr. Saturday Night. I'm not sure.
That would be longer.
That'd be longer. All I remember is there was a running joke on the show that they kept on booking guests who had kissed Meg Ryan. And that was like the running joke. And you lent into that, as I recall.
Yes, I did. I was one of the first.
Went into great detail. Anyway, but Before, which is a 10-part series on Apple TV Plus, this is not that Billy Crystal. This is it is Billy Crystal, but it's a very different Billy Crystal.
Yes.
Anyone who's seen the trailer, anyone who's seen the first couple of episodes, which are out already, will know that we're into sort of, I think for the viewer, uncharted territory. Introduce us to Before and how it came to you as a project.
I came to the project. It's something I created the idea for with Eric Roth, who's a fantastic
Legendary
screenwriter.
screenwriter.
For your audience, Forrest Gump, Dune, Killers of the Flower Moon, Mank, and on and on and on. And I had this notion of a show that was called Deathbed originally. And it was inspired by tapes that my grandmother had made before she passed away about her life and how she came to America with the family and how the family then dispersed across the United States and became, who we are. And it was fascinating stuff, really interesting. So I thought about this person dictating his life to this gerontologist who he's working with and a list of names of people that he wanted to see. And there was a mystery about who are these people, who was he? So the show was like sort of decades of this man's life. And it would be like a romance novel, and it could be fascinating. And we could never break through. And in the interim...
Sorry, what do you mean by that? When you say you couldn't break through?
We couldn't break through the reason why he was asking these people, what was the mystery, what was in it for them when they came, except storytelling and events. So you really needed to have a why about it, a reason. And in the interim, my grandson was looking for an interesting book to read. And I said, well, this is something I read when I was in like in 8th grade that I found very interesting because I've always had this sort of fascination with, is there something after? Is this just going to be it? Our lives? Is this it? And it was a book called The Search for Bridie Murphy, which you may recall was a story of this 28-year-old woman in the United States who goes under hypnosis. And in hypnosis, she describes her life as Bridie Murphy in Ireland 200 years before, I think it was. And when they did the research into everything she had talked about, all the relationships that this Bridie Murphy had, they all panned out that something did happen. There was this Bridie Murphy. So it was this mystery about, did she have a past life, or what was it? Was it a gimmick? Was she? Mm-hmm. How did she know all this stuff? So it was fascinating. And then my son-in-law said, well, that's interesting because I did this research into kids with past lives when I was a student at the University of Virginia. Here's this wonderful book called Life Before Life, which I devoured. I loved it. So one day, Eric and I are in a writing meeting with these 2 young writers from Fargo that we were working with. And we just couldn't find the why of it. And I said, all right, wait a second. What if he's not 100 years old? What if he's 8 and he's got these memories of that and can't explain it, and it's really freaking him out, it's traumatizing him, and he doesn't know what to do with this.
This all came to you like in a moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Eric said, oh, okay, I know what this could be, and I know who could write it. Her name is Sarah Thorpe, and he'd worked with her before. He says she has a delicious dark mind, was how he described it. And so Sarah took our basic premise of this young kid with fascinating memories that are freaking him out, and a pediatric psychiatrist. And then she pitched it in such detail after 2 weeks. It was amazing what she came up with. And the levels of grief that Eli was experiencing, this late wife, who is this kid, this feral young boy just shows up out of the blue one day. Who is he to Eli? What does it mean? Who is he to the late wife? Is there a connection with, where are we going with? And it was dark and wonderful. And I said, Sarah, stop. I want to play him. I just have a feel I want, and so that was how it began. And Sarah really then created from what we had come up with, and just took it to the place that you've seen, which is, I think, kind of extraordinary.